We're going to see Aunt Dorothy and we're taking her flowers. Today's Sunday, right, Mom?
Right.
All day. And it seems like winter is over in Alma. It seems like it. Yeah, we're supposed to have a nice day tomorrow in the 70s. Oh, wow.
And Tuesday, and then in 50s Wednesday.
Okay, 50s Wednesday.
Yeah, cold front's coming in.
It's time to do some spring cleaning.
Right. And the jonquils are budded out, and they're going to bloom tomorrow and the next day. For sure.
Jonquils.
Yeah, they just budded out yesterday.
The quills of John.
So they got their supply replaced. Okay, I need to run that.
Oh, it's an hour off. How to do that?
Ashley did it last time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, here it says clock. We'll push clock. Maybe. Clock. Oh, that was AM FM. Maybe hold it down.
Some way. Yeah, she's connected some way.
There it goes.
We just want it more.
And we need to advance it somehow. No. I don't know what to do.
Just hold it and see if it go up 1 minute, 1 hour, or whatever.
I don't know what to push.
I think maybe, I don't know.
I pushed that. That stopped it from being settable. You have to hold it longer. There. And then... Oh, that's kicking out your CD. That's not what we wanted. Okay.
Read.
No, we don't want to read it. We want to set the clock. Okay, now it's settable.
Push on something. That's the CD playing.
Okay. Maybe... Settable. That's not it. Up or down. Volume. Nope. Scan. Nope.
Just leave it. I'll see her tomorrow. She said it. No.
They don't want it to be easy. They want you to spend half your life trying to set your clock.
I ain't worried about it. Leave it be.
Nope.
It's the CD playing now. Just push on it. It'll go.
All right.
You want this off?
Yeah, you can turn it off, Mama. I could read your manual, but it's in the trunk, right?
Put it somewhere, less what I have.
I understand clear, simple English.
I think it's in the trunk. It's either in the, yeah, it's in the trunk.
I can usually read clear, simple English.
Okay.
Not all the time. Well, it's kind of a nice day for driving, actually. It's not too cold and it's not extremely sunny to glare you. Ron said that Ecuador sounded like a nice place to retire, and I said, I think you're right. Well, yeah, I mean, considering everybody 65 and older gets to go to the front of any public line, by law, you're required to go to the front of the line, because their society feels like that once you're 65, you've earned the right to go to the front of the line. Instead of being treated like...
At least they have a respect for their elders.
Yeah, instead of being treated like a worn-out pair of shoes that's ready for the landfill, they treat elders with respect. And then 50% of your living expenses no longer exist if you have any, because you get a 50% rate reduction on everything. Do you get that in the United States?
I think so.
50% rate reduction on living? don't think it's everything, but a lot of significant things are reduced by 50%.
This branch here is so heavy, it didn't take much for it to fall. I pinned it up as high as I could go without messing it up, trying to help it.
Watch the road, Mom. I'll watch the flower. Mom, can you tell the listeners what basalt is?
What is?
Basalt.
Oh, that in place of the yeah.
What is basalt?
Let me think a minute.
Okay.
It comes from, let's see, limestone? No.
Not limestone, no.
You use it in place of rebar.
Oh, really? You can use it in place of
No,
rebar.
no.
Okay, but what is basalt, actually?
It's,
In and of itself, where does basalt come from? It's the rock that forms from lava. Lava rock. That's basalt. And what do they do with lava rock, also known as basalt?
They use it
To make what?
to use it around those.
What do they make out of it?
They make those.
It's like a twine
Yeah,
called roving.
right. And they weave it, and then and it's real strong.
Yeah. And does it rust?
No.
No, it doesn't
And
rust.
It keeps the.
So it's really strong and it doesn't rust,
Right.
and it forms you can make it into a twine, right?
Yeah.
So they use that twine to do what with?
To reinforce the walls.
Yeah, what kind of walls? What are the walls made out of?
Sand.
No, not sand. Concrete.
They eliminate rebar, which is pricey.
Yeah, and also what's difference between rebar and basalt roving besides the price?
It's strong and doesn't rust.
It doesn't rust. So what happens? What do you have to do because the rebar rusts? You have to use more concrete to keep water from penetrating the concrete
Oh,
to make the rebar rust. So you have to use more concrete to protect the rebar. So that's the advantage of using basalt twine, is you don't have to use as much concrete
Right.
to
For your.
have an adequate, strong,
Right.
usable structure, right?
Right.
It saves you money in many different ways, and the basalt is easier to work with than the rebar because it's flexible. It's a rope. It's like a twine.
Now it's made
So
from
it volcanic rock. Basalt twine is made from, it's called roving, basalt roving or twine. It's made from volcanic rock, which is very inexpensive, and it requires a lot less labor to work with it, to form it. Like with rebar, you have to bend it, It's difficult to work with because it's stiff. And then it rusts. So you got to use more concrete to protect the rebar,
Right.
to keep the rebar from rusting. The rebar is expensive because of all the embodied energy that goes into making the rebar. So there's a whole lot of benefits to using basalt roving instead of rebar. I look at basalt roving sort of like carbon fiber, only like a very affordable form of like carbon fiber
Yeah.
that naturally occurs. Seems to make sense that you could use basalt roving. I don't know about the weight, but it seems like you could use it in place of fiberglass, right?
Sounds
If you want to make a laminated shell, like a body panel, to make a canoe or something like that, I would be interested to know, like, how does basalt roving compare to carbon fiber, which is very expensive? That's a good question, right? They seem to have very similar properties or characteristics from a surface view. Whether that's true or not, I don't know because I haven't done the research. But they appear to have similar characteristics. What is it? What is it that's special about carbon fiber? It's very stiff. It's lightweight. It's strong. It's strong in certain ways, but it's also weak in other ways. Like it doesn't have puncture resistance. Like if you have a carbon fiber panel, if you took an ice pick, you could run an ice pick right through it. But it has strength in terms of bending. It has rigidity. So you can make a bicycle frame out of it, and it'll be light and rigid like steel. But I think it has a little more flex than aluminum. Like aluminum is very, very rigid, and it cracks easy. A lot of your bicycle manufacturers make frames out of aluminum, but they crack easy. They don't have any flex to them. Like that's the reason why a lot of people who purchase a touring bicycle will get a steel frame touring bike, because it has flex to handle the flex with a heavy load. Because typically when you're touring, you have more gear with you because you need to sustain yourself for a long period of time. So you're carrying more of a load. And people will get a steel frame bike because it can handle the twist and the flex from carrying a load. Typically carbon fiber is not used to build a touring bicycle frame. Typically carbon fiber is used to build a lightweight, fast bicycle. But they do have better handling characteristics than aluminum frame bike that's real rigid. You would not use aluminum to make a touring bicycle frame because it would crack over time under the stress of carrying a load for touring. I had an aluminum frame mountain bike. I didn't like it. It was a very harsh, rigid ride. Even though it had full suspension, it was actually kind of not too much fun to ride. I learned my lesson with disc brakes when I first got a bike. The first bike I had with disc brakes, I hit the disc brakes too hard on the front of the mountain bike, and it threw me over the handlebars. I've never had a bicycle that had such strong braking power that it could throw you over the front handlebars. I think I broke a rib when that happened because my chest was sore for a couple of weeks. Had trouble breathing. One time my rear wheel fell off my mountain bike. That caused me to crash. I think it was the rear wheel, maybe it was the front wheel. I can't remember. It wasn't much fun. You know the quick release mechanisms? Apparently I didn't have it latched in properly or something. I thought I did, but I was going over these little moguls on this little short track in Taos, and the wheel fell off. Next thing I know, I was face first in the dirt.
Dirt was probably better than concrete.
Oh yeah, it was much better than concrete or asphalt. The dirt wasn't so bad. I didn't break anything in that incident like I did on the asphalt where I think I broke a rib. accidentally remove the
Oh, well, don't worry about
card.
that. Just watch the blooms. I
Watch
just
the
rather
blooms.
have it hanging on there anyway. Just the blooms is what's important. Don't worry about that card now.
It's an important card. It gives you the directions to
Well,
achieve
no,
months of
I know,
longevity.
But I know exactly. I can get that when I get out of the car down there. That's what I meant.
You just don't want me to knock all the blooms off.
I don't want the blooms. I don't want them blooms by touching them.
I didn't touch them.
I know.
Give your business a jolt.
What?
Does your business need a jolt, Mom?
It's neat the way they put that retaining wall in.
Yeah. I was trying to remember the first place I saw them do that.
I've seen it.
It seems to work really well for a while.
Well, it's a big retaining wall.
Yep, that's really high. Really high. Wonder how they did that.
I found it was interesting that they, when they built that, I thought, well, how are they going to do all this up on that hill, I see now that huge retaining wall.
You know, I was reading about the Battle of the 300, where it was regarding the Phoenicians attacking the Greeks, and the Greeks,
See, I go left, right?
yeah. The Greeks asked for help from the Spartans, and the Spartans brought only 300 soldiers to defend against like hundreds of thousands of Phoenicians. And they actually had this one strategic location. That's it.
I come in this way before I come in up there.
Oh, I see.
So I'm looking for it.
Here it is. So anyway, the Phoenicians, in order to eliminate like a 2-year travel issue, they built a bridge across this body of water by connecting 700 boats side by side and anchoring them to the lake floor. Yeah, we're talking about a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these people were really smart. They made some sort of rope out of natural fibers that anchored these old boats, wooden boats, to the seafloor and create a wooden bridge, a floating wooden bridge that was anchored to the seafloor with 700 boats. So they can march across this body of water and eliminate like a 2-year travel time to go around this huge body of water. Must have been a huge lake, a huge body of water. But it was just like an engineering feat that was unimaginable by most people, but they recognized the technology,
Yeah.
and they had the manpower to execute it, and they did it. And then after that was used, the enemy came in and burnt that bridge and saved the ropes they used to anchor the boats to the seafloor,
Yeah.
to make like they built some sort of a monument. The Greeks did. It was very interesting because they eventually went into and they went in and conquered the Phoenicians after the Phoenicians won the battle against the Spartans. It was very interesting.
Excuse me, you still filming?
Yep. I can shut it off.